This is the future. Evolution. This is the future. Evolution. This is the future.
Hey guys, how's it going? Matt from Foulball Productions here. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. Hope that you're doing well, because I am doing phenomenally. Thank you so very much. This is the 44th episode of the MFer Podcast, and I thank you very much for joining me. This podcast is streaming on this channel, on the MFer Podcast YouTube channel, as well as Rumble, and is available everywhere you get podcasts. So go ahead and subscribe to all those outlets and leave a review. Give your boy a follow on Instagram and X for all the latest Foulball Productions updates. There's so many to come. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be an avalanche of updates. You're just going to be every day like, what's next? What's coming? It's going to be a lot. So stay tuned. Okay, so I know I've been an absentee dad. I drop in every once in a while, give you a card with $5, and you're like, I guess, thanks. But I vow to change that. And this time, I actually mean it. This podcast, moving forth, I swear to you, will be a weekly podcast every Monday night at 8 p.m. Central. Now, I know it's not Monday tonight. I'm aware. I didn't screw up my days. I know what today is. The reason I'm not doing it on tomorrow Monday, is because my beloved NFL Jets, the New York Jets, are playing tomorrow, and I just want to see if they could pull it off without just humiliating themselves, for one game. We'll see how that goes. But I wanted to watch the game tomorrow. But moving forth, every single episode of this show will be Monday at 8. It's going to be a real show. I swear. And one final housekeeping note. This stream and all further MFer Podcast streams will no longer be, they'll be on this channel while live, and then 24 hours following. After that, only available on the MFer Podcast YouTube channel or Spotify or anywhere else you get podcasts. I'm just trying to game the algorithm. That's all. That's all it's about. Anyway, let's get the show started. Thank you guys for joining me. Hello. You've changed your name. Hello, Cotton Ministries. You're a whole ministry now? You're not just a father. You're a whole ministry of cotton. That's actually kind of nice. I'm glad to see things are going well for you, Pop. I might still call you Papa. It's going to be hard for the Cotton Ministries. But anyway, I'm glad you're here, sir. Thank you for joining me this evening. Yes. I suffered kind of a serious injury. I was at the gym about 2 weeks ago and pulled my back really bad. And it's an injury I've dealt with a few times over the years. Like every, 6 to 8 months, I kind of end up with like just a pulled back where I have to kind of lay on a heating pad for like 3-4 days. And that's usually the extent of it. It's just kind of get some tightness, in my lower back. But this time it was pretty serious. I had to call out of work all week, and then weekend rolled around, and I was like, I think I'm feeling okay. Go to work on Saturday, and then after that, it's been like relatively debilitating. I had to go to a doctor the other day and get like a physical therapy kind of treatment plan for it, and it's been pretty serious to the point where I don't think I can continue being a bartender. At least not right now. It certainly seems like it's going to be a debilitating problem for the coming future. So I think that chapter of my life is over, at least for now. And I don't necessarily know what's coming next. I have some vague ideas, some vague plans, but nothing really concrete. But me having that downtime has given me a lot of time to think. And I've been in Austin for like 3.5 years now. You know, I started YouTubing in 2020, and the past few years, I feel like I've really dropped it, you know, here and there. I'm trying to contribute, you know, making a video or whatever, doing a post, so on and so forth, a stream, but have not been committed at all. And I think a lot of that has to do with personal life stuff, you know, work stuff. It's pretty tough to have like a full-time job and be a full-time YouTuber. Not that people don't do it. People do. I found it challenging. But having the downtime gave me time to think. And it's kind of like, what the hell are you doing, pal? What's next, you know? Life ain't getting any shorter. You ain't getting any younger. What are you doing? You know, you're just going to keep floating through life, being a bartender, dropping a stream every once in a while and imagining a future that's better. I don't know. And I didn't like the answers to those questions that I had. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Listen, I really like doing this. You know, I think a lot of times I'm my own worst enemy, and I kind of like talk myself out of being productive. But I really, really want to commit myself to doing these streams, making content, and just being like what I initially kind of was, you know, making videos and popping it out there. I'm really more into sketches and stuff now, but still like really focusing on it. So that's why the big announcement, that's why I mixed up the look of this place. I literally just took my computer desk from this wall and put it here, but now I've got like at least a more pleasant background. I felt like the kind of void of my empty studio just looked shitty. So I, you know, got like some fun little art back there and a blue light over there, you know, and you know you're not a real YouTuber unless you've got a blue electric light in the background. So now I'm official. But anyway, just kind of wanted to fill you guys in on what's been going on with me. And that's the plan. That's the plan moving forward. MFer Podcast every Monday night. Sketches, videos. I don't know. I'm going to really start getting creative with my content, I think, and really start committing to it. So that's my word. That's what's been going on with me, and that's what I hope to have in the future. Anyway, NFL Week 1 this week actually kind of surprised me. I was like, oh, shit, did that already happen? Whoa, that was fast. I feel like, do I have a bad memory? I felt like it was usually like 2 or 3 weeks into September that the season started. Am I just misremembering the past? I felt like the first week of September, it wasn't normally started. I guess the season is longer, right? So that happened. I was like, what do you know? Didn't really catch any of the games today. Had a lot of other stuff to do, but we'll be catching the Jets game tomorrow. However, there was some controversy today. Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill. He's a very talented player. I believe he used to play on the Chiefs, if I'm not mistaken. He's got wheels. He's a crazy athlete. Apparently, he was arrested before today's game. I guess he got pulled over for reckless driving. And the details are kind of sketchy. It's sort of like, sounds like there was some sort of verbal argument, some sort of altercation, and he was detained before the game started. And there's lots of photos online, and there is a short video, and it's hard to say because the video only starts, I'll share it with you guys. The video only starts after Tyreek is detained. And so he's obviously claiming, excuse me. Pardon me, folks. He's obviously claiming that he didn't do anything. This is all an overreaction by the police. And it very well may be, but we only know what we can see in this video and what he said. We have not heard anything from the other side except that maybe the one cop who I guess was involved with this, was put on administrative leave. So maybe that says something. Maybe it doesn't. I mean, I feel like nowadays, like if you have like a high profile arrest like this, like you're going to put him on administrative leave no matter what, just because the profile of the cops in public perception right now is not the best it's ever been. So I feel like that doesn't say much. Who knows? But this is the video that's been floating around. It's like from a few different people's angles. Got a knee in his back there. Sounds like he's yelling at him. I can't tell.
What the fuck?
Tyreek Hill.
And I think that...
Dylan, no. I'm trying to get on video.
They put him in handcuffs. Oh, fuck.
I don't know. He seems to be yelling quite a bit. I can't... It's so hard to tell what's going on here. All right, I'm just going to mute that because that's unpleasant. But yeah, here he is getting detained and arrested. And the funny thing is, he still played in the game. He still played, and they had an end zone celebration of him like catching a touchdown, and then he put his hands behind his back like he was getting arrested, and one of the other players like played as the arresting officer, which I thought was pretty funny, pretty clever. But with controversies like this, especially with police, I always tend to wait and see before I weigh in. Lots of people obviously took to Twitter to immediately defend Tyreek Hill, some other NFL players and such. But you never know with stuff like this. I mean, so many videos, you see the video and he's like the worst, he's like, oh my God, what a victim. And then you see like, oh, well, 3 minutes before that, he was bashing them in the face. You're like, oh, well, that context kind of matters. It sort of influences the whole situation, the perception of the situation. So I don't know with this one, but I did think it was interesting that it happened today. And additionally, that he kind of mocked it, teased it a little bit. Whether he's right or wrong, that's funny. I think it's funny. He could be acting like, getting arrested in the end zone. That's pretty funny. But yeah, NFL's starting this week. I don't know. As a Jets fan, I'm vaguely interested. Last year was so humiliating. The Jets always seem to find a way to humiliate themselves every single season, or at least every few seasons, something like really brutal. So I don't know what it's going to look like. I'm vaguely excited, but keeping an eye on that. Wait a second. Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry. Just looking through some of the stories I have to talk about here. Trying to think where I want to go. I'll say this. So I've been kind of like an advocate for Apple TV's content. Like I really like what they put out there. Kinda. They did a show Severance that I think is absolutely brilliant. They did a Benjamin Franklin show with Mike Douglas. Outstanding. Really like that. That sounded very like me and Mike Douglas, I know he goes by Michael Douglas. Okay, I'm sorry. But really great. Honestly, if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend both those shows. Severance is brilliant, really weird and different. And the Benjamin Franklin show is terrific and really interesting. Like takes place in around the time of the Revolutionary War, but like set exclusively in France when Benjamin Franklin was trying to elicit like the French's help with the Revolutionary War. It's terrific. Really, really good show. Don't expect any war action, but it's a genuinely really entertaining show. And I honestly might get trashed for this, but I do genuinely love Ted Lasso. I think Ted Lasso is phenomenal. There's definitely some like political stuff in there at occasion that makes me roll my eyes, but for the most part, I think it's a really, really good, funny, sweet show, just with a good heart and a good sense of humor. Kind of reminds me of Scrubs a little, where it kind of like have that, yes, we have a goofy sense of humor. We know that. We're just going to continue to be goofy, and that's who we are. And it's kind of like, oh, that's like refreshing and kind of nice. But they had some other shows that, man, started off incredible and sucked. The first most dramatic example, and probably the worst example, was Sugar with Colin Farrell. Starts off brilliant. I'm going to spoil this, so if you don't want this spoiled, recommend just, fast forwarding a few minutes or just coming back in a little while. But starts off absolutely brilliant, right? He's like a private investigator in Los Angeles, and it's a total throwback. Oh, hold on. Someone's texting me while I'm streaming. I apologize. Do Not Disturb is now on. That'll never happen again, folks. My God, how unprofessional. But starts off with he's a detective, and it's like in L.A., and it's a total throwback to like L.A. noir type detective stories, like Humphrey Bogart type shit. It's great. It's really entertaining, and it also has like a total love letter to Hollywood of old and the cinema. And the character loves cinema. And there's a story. The story in the show is that he is hired by this movie producer to find his granddaughter, the movie producer's granddaughter. And so he takes the case. Parents aren't really concerned about her whereabouts. They're like, she's a drug addict. She does this every once in a while. She'll turn up. No big deal. Grandfather still thinks it's very important and hires him on. And so the case unfolds, and there's all these extra layers to it. And there's like this kind of crime boss guy and this woman who's maybe kind of shady, maybe not telling the truth. And then it's at like episode 5. Colin Farrell's an alien. What? Colin Farrell is an alien from another planet. They dropped that in halfway through the show. What? You can't just change genres? You can't have William Wallace just whip out a machine gun and be like, I'm from the future, bitch. Like, you can't do that. Like, what are you doing? And it rocked me. Like, for the rest of the show, I couldn't re-enjoy the show because of the hard right turn on what the show was, what the genre was. I was like, that is so dumb. And it turned me off for the rest of the show, and I just couldn't enjoy it. Even when the ending happened, I was just like, okay, whatever, fine. Who did it? Great. Why are there aliens? I'm like, you just introduced a far more interesting plot point, story beat. Like, there's aliens, they walk among us. What? Can we get into that? I'm a little more curious about that, to be completely honest. It just ruined the whole show. And then there's a show called Dark Matter with God, I always forget his name. Joel Edgerton. I think it's Joel Edgerton. This was a science fiction show. Now, I won't spoil this one because I do think it's more worth watching. I feel like Sugar was such a misguided, like, right turn. Spoiling it just feels like, I don't know, not wrong. It's just like, whatever. I don't know, this is dumb. But I won't spoil this one, Dark Matter. So this was like a pretty interesting show. It's like a multiverse show. Basically, the idea is like this guy one day, leaving a party, gets accosted by this dude, black bags him, kidnaps him, puts him in this big box. And all of a sudden he wakes up and everything's different. And like he runs some giant tech company now, and everyone's treating him like, where'd you go? How was it when what was going on? And he had no clue what was going on. This is a spoiler that's like revealed at the end of the first episode, so if you're that precious about it, tune out. But basically, it turns out that it was the alternate version of himself that kidnapped the guy. Call him Joel 1. Kidnapped Joel 1 because Joel 2 wanted to like live the simple life without like all the success. He always longed for this woman that he never got to be with and these kids that he never got to have, right? And the whole thing is like there's a split, a diversion of his life, and that all creates a parallel reality, and there's a million parallel realities and blah, 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 blah. So typical multiverse stuff, which is ground that has been tread. We have been down multiverses quite a bit. I'm sick of it. I'm over the whole concept, but in Apple's defense, this book was written years ago, so, whatever. So the show goes on, and basically it's the whole adventure is him trying to get back to his family, right? Joel 1's trying to get back to his family. Like I said, I won't spoil it, but the ending, like by the time they got to the ending, I was like, I don't know, whatever. I don't really care. Like, not all that interesting. Like, let's just, wrap it up. And then it wraps up, and I was like, yeah, that's unsatisfying as hell. But, all right, so that's over. And so that's the second show now on Apple that I'm watching, and I'm like, that started off so strong and then ended like, Now, the last one was another show with Jake Gyllenhaal called Presumed Innocent. Now, this is like a legal drama. And it's good. It's very, I don't want to say trashy, but it's very like network TV style legal drama. Like, they're not really hard and fast. Like, so many ridiculous and extreme things happen, but it's kind of soap opera-y. So in that regard, it works. And it's a compelling show. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun for a while until, once again, the end. There's this big twist ending, and I was like, that is so dumb. Like, it doesn't work. And that is 3 high-profile, very well-made, brilliant shows that just kind of all come out at the end like, meh. Like, what is going on with the production over at Apple? I don't know why they like can't stick the landing. But it's like it's the last thing you remember, so it becomes your impression of the show. I don't know. Work on that. You know what I mean? That's like 3 shows I was like emotionally invested in, and they didn't turn out, you know, like they were like boring ending. No, Mr. Cotton Ministries. You sound like a couch potato. Do I? I don't know if I'm coming across like one. I'm not a particularly watchy type of guy. I usually watch something most days, but I don't, you know, just sit there and stream shit. But this has been over several months. This has been over probably since January. When did that I think that's when that show came out. Maybe December. Yeah, actually, the Ben Franklin show came out late last year. So this has been over the past, you know, what's it, 9 months, 10 months, or the past year, Papa. Okay, I will not be lectured by you, sir. No, I'm just messing around. But it's, yeah, I mean, this is just like now becoming my impression of Apple. I used to hold them at really high esteem, and now I'm just like, this is boring. What's going on? I don't know. I thought that was interesting. Oh, the reason I brought that up, I knew I had a point. Of course I did. I wouldn't just babble. I wouldn't just go on and on about that for no reason. There is a terrific show on Apple called Slow Horses. Oh my God. If you have not seen Slow Horses, I recommend it heartily. Heartily. So this is a show about like MI6, you know, Britain's Secret Service, Britain's like CIA, not Secret Service, sorry, like CIA. And it's very, very good. It's Gary Oldman is a terrific, like really good spy, but kind of washed up and sort of, what's up, Zax? Good to see you, sir. Thank you for popping in, my good man. What's cracking? Still got that wrench, baby. Let's go. I did watch Sugar, and I just talked about it, about how kind of fucking ridiculous it was. That halfway through, oh, by the way, I don't want to spoil it for you, Zax, if you haven't finished it. Because I don't know if you got into like episode 4, but it takes a hard right turn, my friend. It becomes a very different show. It's like, what the fuck? Really? You're just dropping that on us. You're just going to let that sit there. Okay. All right. But this show, Slow Horses, Gary Oldman plays this kind of washed up, like formerly brilliant spy. And he runs this like this like separate office inside of MI6 called Slow Horses. It's kind of like a what's the word, like an insult, you know, like a derogatory term for them. It's not really what they. You were cool with the right turn, huh? I was not. I could not get back on board with that. I thought it was brilliant up until then. I was just, if they had done that at the end of the first episode, I'd have been like, all right, sick. Halfway through, I just never got over it. I just never got over the twist. I never got over the fact that he was an alien. I was like, what the fuck? What? Maybe I shouldn't have spoiled it then, you know? Maybe I should have been more prudent and thought that through. Oh, well, you know, you can't undo things in life sometimes. Anyway, this show, Slow Horses, so it's basically about this kind of like office inside MI6 where all the kind of fuck ups and sort of, you know, people, kind of outcasts go and get like shit work. And it's very degrading. And Gary Oldman is not the most pleasant boss, but they kind of end up getting into shit. And there's such a good thing in the first season when I was like, oh my God, fucking of course. You know, it starts off with like, oh, there's a villain, the main villain, and he's a white supremacist. Oh, he's a nationalist, a British national. And you're like, oh, of course he is. But there is a terrific twist in that narrative that I was like, ooh, you sly dogs. You sly dogs. You got me. I really liked it. And then there was nothing about that show that was objectionable. It was just across the board really, really awesome. And I highly recommend checking out Slow Horses. And I guess the new season launched today, or I guess over the weekend. Let's go. I'm pumped. I didn't even know that until I started prepping for this stream, and I am definitely going to be watching that today. Okay? You know what? Maybe I am a couch potato, Cotton, but I've been on my back for 2 weeks, okay? Hurt my back. You know, it's not nice. I come back. I give you guys a stream, and you just are mean to me. You're just mean to me. But check out Slow Horses, yo. That is such a good show. Yeah, that's the thing with Apple. Hit and miss. You got great things. You got the Ben Franklin show. You got Severance, Slow Horses. And then on the other hand, you're like, why can't you stick the landing with these other things, huh? If Sugar was a 12-episode series, it may have bothered me more, but it was basically over after the twist. Yeah, it was over after the twist, but there was still like half the show left to go. And then it was like, well, what's the point of the whole other mystery? Where the girls tied up or whatever? I don't give a shit anymore. Are aliens walk amongst us? What? Are we at war with them? Do we know? Like, it just opened up so many more questions where I'm like, you just changed the show so much. I don't care about what you set up here. I'm like, oh, we got to leave. It's like, you got to leave. You got to leave Earth. Why? You got here with interstellar travel. It's got to beat any technology we have on Earth. Why? I don't know. I just, Slow Horses is great. Yes, sir. Yeah, I don't know. I just was like, I don't feel like they earned that at all. I think, like I said, if they just did it after the first episode, you'd be like, all right, sick. You know, that's interesting. Another layer to this mystery. But halfway through, ridiculous. That's my opinion. But, yeah, check out Slow Horses. Slow Horses is baller. All right. Now, for some politics, yo. Holy heck. I guess this story is trending right now. I was just reading about it just quite recently. Actually, real quick, before I drop into politics, may I throw out a YouTuber recommendation? Obviously, of course, Zax. Love Zax. Very proud of Zax's success. But other than Zax, who you should go subscribe to, go spend some time over on his channel. The Fat Electrician. I don't know if you guys have heard about the Fat Electrician, but he is one of my favorite YouTubers right now. And I think what I find so compelling about his stuff is that it's like, I don't want to say like apolitical, but it basically like it's not about anything modern day, right? Like it's all really detailed, thoroughly researched, and entertainingly delivered military history. And I can't recommend it enough. I love it so much. Like I was watching a video of his before I started this stream, and I'm like about halfway through, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta go stream. God damn it. Yeah, I wanted to finish watching his stream. His video, it's so compelling. They're really well researched and very just fascinating stories, like smaller stories about World War II, like stuff I'd never heard of, guys I'd never heard of. They're just really fascinating. And the last episode he put out was about this sniper in Vietnam who put a bullet through the scope of another sniper. And I guess like Mythbusters like determined years ago that was impossible. Well, so he and Garand Thumb, M1 Garand Thumb, the YouTube channel, they got together and actually proved that it was correct, that it could happen. And they did all that just for this YouTube video, which I just feel like the production of that channel and the content is really great. And I highly recommend it. You know, it's a great unplug. You know, there's no Kamala Harris or Trump or fucking trans things or, you know, bad TV. It's just really, really entertaining YouTube. And I highly, highly recommend The Fat Electrician. Okay, moving on to crazy politics. This is this article I found on what's that? Yeah, the Daily Mail. Well, hold on. Oh my God, the Daily Mail. This is with an ad blocker on. This is how many ads there are. Dominating female senator used male chief of staff as her sex slave. Married dad of 3 claims as he suffered herniated discs in his back after she forced him to, quote, prove his loyalty in the car. Whoa. Whoa, California. I heard they're wild, but oh my gosh. Oh my heavens. Yeah, it's a pretty crazy story. And I was reading about it before. I was like, wow. Either this guy is a very dirty dog and he's coming up with some really creative excuses as to why he was cheating on his wife, or this woman's kind of a monster. So let's read the article. The California state senator has been accused of keeping her married male chief of staff as a sex slave and injuring his back while forcing him to perform oral sex. Republican California State Senator Marie Alvarado Gill, 50, was hit with the accusations Thursday by former chief of staff and father of 3, Chad Condit, the 57-year-old son of the former Congressman Gary Condit. That's funny. I grew up with a kid named Gary Condit in New Jersey. What do you know? It's a small world, folks. Anyway. Condit claims the married mother of 6 frequently demanded oral sex, including in the car, which caused him to suffer a back injury in the civil lawsuit filed in Sacramento Superior Court. Condit claims that the relationship was one of sex-based quid pro quo, and that he characterized as being punctuated by unwelcome advances and sexual behaviors coupled with punishment and flexing power. Interesting. I would say, possible. But I feel like this applies to anyone. I mean, if someone's forcing you into a sexual behavior and the penalty is to lose your job, man, quit. You know what I mean? Get another job. Like, I feel like, maybe it's different in politics. Maybe I've never been in that situation, so I can't really say that. But I always just felt like, I don't know, don't do that then. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if the consequence is you get fired, all right, quit. File a wrongful termination lawsuit. I never understand why people do that. Like, this is going to be a controversial take. I'm just going to preface it right now. But I was out in Hollywood when all the Me Too stuff was going on. And there was one particular story about a girl who ended up, like, being the star of some, I think it was CBS show. And, went on to make millions of dollars with this show. But before she got it, she had to give oral favors, we'll say, to Les Moonves, I think. Look, this is all just my vague recollection. So if I'm factually inaccurate, I apologize. But that's what I remember happened. That's what I remember hearing about. And, years later, she came out, she's all devastated, and this, that, and the other. And it's just like, I mean, yeah, but, like, you don't have to do that. Like, it's not like you had a gun to your head. Yeah, he was tempting you, and it's wrong of him to do that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's right. But I'm just saying, like, you could have kept being a waitress, but you didn't want to, so you did it. And I think that sucks. I really do. But you can't be like, I was a victim. It's like, you had a choice. It's not a good choice. You can be ashamed of that choice, and you can feel like that's fucked up. You pressured me into that choice, but you still had a choice. And this guy, too, I'm kind of like, buddy, I don't know. You have a choice in this. Like, it's not right. People shouldn't leverage their power to get sexual favors from unwilling partners. That's wrong. That's very wrong. But you are an adult. You're 57, man. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what someone could dangle over my head that I would be willing to degrade myself sexually for them for a while. I mean, if you read this story, which we will, it wasn't like one time. It wasn't like she cornered him at a party when he was kind of drunk and he regretted it. Like, this was a relationship. I don't know. That's just a take. That's just one perspective. I'm not saying that's my, that's what you should take away from this story. But I do kind of always wonder about stuff like that. Whenever I hear that, I'm always kind of like, I don't know. Anyway, Condit claims that Alvarado Gil had a proclivity for oral sex, and she treated it as a perk of power. They were driving together, and they pulled over to go to the restroom. The lawsuit recounts of one alleged incident during the trip in Inyo County. When he came back to the car, she had her pants pulled down and said, "I want you to kiss it and prove your loyalty." She had her legs spread and turned towards him, exposing her vagina. Her direction was for him to submit to her demand and to orally pleasure her vagina. That just reads funny. You could just say orally pleasure her. You don't need to say orally pleasure her vagina. It just feels so like, ugh. It's a funny way to put that. The lawsuit claims that he was numbed and acted without thinking after months of alleged abuse by Alvarado Gil. I don't know. I think maybe he just hurt his back on this affair with her, and now it's kind of be like, yeah, she forced me. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe he's a victim. I don't know. Condit claims that he performed the act in a car seat with his body having to twist and contort in the confined space of the car. As a result, the chief of staff suffered 3 herniated discs in his back and a collapsed hip, according to the suit. He said that he began to push back against her sexual demands following the injury, and this made her unhappy with him. All this shit is retarded. Heard. Now it's interesting. So now it's like, it sounds like he was a willing participant. And maybe she just said that as part of like their sexual dynamic, or she just said something naughty to him and he did it and then hurt himself and he's like, now I can't be doing it. It's like, all right, so there was some consent here. There was a consensual affair going on for a while. She put him in a car seat. That seems weird. I wonder if maybe it's just like one of those bucket seats or something. Maybe it was just like in the back seat, and he like turned, like in a minivan or something, and kind of like, because a collapsed hip and 2 herniated discs, I could see him like turning over and kind of like, being an old man, kind of popping it out. Could be. I don't know. This whole story is so weird. This is incredible. Condit's father, former Democratic Congressman Condit, has also been accused of affairs, including with missing intern Chandra Levy, who was found murdered a year after her 2001 disappearance. Condit's father was never named a suspect. Whoa. So his dad had an affair with a missing intern who was found murdered. Yo, that's sus as hell, dude. That's suspicious, dude. You're having an affair with her and she just turns up murdered a year ago? Whew. And he was never named a suspect. Well, he seems like he had some pretty strong motivation. Well, I'm no detective. Speculation on whether the politician committed the murder, however, allegedly prompted Alvarado Gil, who went on to fire Condit this past December, to allegedly ask her then staffer if he would be like his father, the suit claimed. I don't know what that means. It also claimed the alleged inappropriate comments intensified over time, including March 2023, when the politician allegedly asked him about his feelings on thruples, a term that referred... Yeah, okay. It's asked if his wife would be into that. All right. It just starts to kind of go on and on and on. But to me, it kind of sounds like there was a... what's up, Sentient Dildo? Good to see you, brother. How you doing, pal? It seems like there was a consensual affair there going on for a while. And then, like, he was kind of like, yeah, I can't keep doing this. I hurt my back. I'm cheating on my wife. Like, I don't really want to do this. And then... maybe, I don't know. It didn't even seem like there was all that much. She fired him. I guess maybe that's it. Maybe he got fired after he stopped going down on her and stopped doing all that. I could see that. Listen, I've hooked up with people I worked with. Not recommended, I would say. I would argue don't. If you can avoid it, I wouldn't recommend it. Because if you decide to stop hooking up with said person, oh, it can get a little uncomfortable. It can get a little awkward. I don't know. Not recommended. Oh my God, stop. Why is he... I put my fucking phone on Do Not Disturb, didn't I? No. Okay. My bad. My buddy was just texting me that he saw the new Beetlejuice and said it was good. He's not a... Film is not his forte. I watched the original last night with him, and he didn't like it, and he just said that the new one was better. Has anyone seen the new Beetlejuice? Does anyone care to see the new Beetlejuice? I don't know. I watched the trailer. I thought it looked terrible. I thought it looked so contrived and lame, and I was just like, ugh, not for me, man. I don't know. Apparently, it made like $100 million this box office, but man, I swear I have not seen any buzz about this movie at all. Even when I Googled it, there's like very few reviews. Like Stuckman reviewed it, but like who cares? But there's not much on Twitter. Like I just feel like there's no hype. Like I didn't even know this movie was out yet. Like I don't know. I was thinking about like reposting some of my Beetlejuice sketches just to kind of get some to glom onto the hype a little bit. But even that feels a little disingenuous. I don't know. People are sheep. People are sheep. When you're a sheeper. I don't know. I had nothing there. Yeah, I don't know. It looks whack. Like, I watched the trailer last night. I was like, that looks horrible. But he just texted me, said it was good. So, I don't know. I can't imagine spending money to go see that shit. Ugh, it looks brutal. And it looks like Michael Keaton's had some work done. Even under the Beetlejuice makeup, you can kind of see it. He has that, like, unnaturally smooth kind of cheekbones, you know? They kind of, it looks all wrong, like there's collagen under there. It just kind of doesn't look like a human's face anymore. I don't know. That's a bad look when dudes get plastic surgery. Nah, I think you just gotta age gracefully, man, you know? Use lotion and shit. When guys get work done, you're like, ugh, dude, come on. Just get jacked or something. Do the Beetlejuice skits? Okay, Zax, thank you. I will do. I will repost them. Bitch made shit. Agreed. Yeah, I bet they don't put up with that in the Balkans. I bet guys getting like eye filler and Botox probably doesn't go over very well in a post-Soviet bloc. I bet they're not into that. Just my guess. I don't know. But yeah, I think that's a terrible look, man. I'm not into all the chicks with the getting all the work done as it is. You know? Especially like girls that are already cute. You're like, you don't need anything. You don't need to like the lip filler, the puffy lips. They all do it. I feel like every chick I know does it, man. It's just so like is it that bad to be like imperfect? Is it that hard? I don't know. I still feel like you're gonna get attention. I don't know. Women always claim they don't do it for other men, which I'm just like, that's hilarious. I don't believe you. It's like that. Well, we do it for other women. And it's like, well, why would other women care? It's like, because we care. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're competing with one another, but the only reason it matters is because it matters to us. So you're still doing it for us, whether you want to mentally admit it. I mean, do all the gymnastics to convince yourself you're not, but you are, whatever. Cotton. I'm so sick of everything being a remake or a reboot or a sequel or a prequel. It's all just memory berries and rehashed bullshit. Preach it! Preach it. I will say, to Zach's point, that does give Sugar some credibility. At least Sugar's an original show. At least it's an original IP, or at least an unproduced IP. I don't know if it was a book first. I don't think so. I think it's based on its own screenplay. But at least that, I'll give credit to Apple for that. For all those shows I was just kind of trashing. At least they're all original. They're all their own thing. It's not some spin-off, sequel, like you said, reboot, prequel, garbage, rehash nonsense. The I've been showing my buddy, my buddy Mike, whom you've all met and you loved. It's like a bunch of movies because he grew up very religious and has not seen a lot of movies. So I'm showing him all the best movies that I can think of. I'm showing him all the Tarantino stuff. So we did Dusk Till Dawn. We did the Kill Bill thing. We did some kind of more obscure indie shit that I really like. And he's like, I've never seen a movie. Every single movie you show me is amazing. I can't believe all this stuff exists. And I was like, yeah, dude, they don't make movies anymore. They just make products or propaganda. That's it. It's a shame because movies used to be so good. Even the big kind of profane action movies of the 90s and stuff. As movies, they work. They might be ridiculous. They might have stupid one-liners and stuff, but they work. The Rock as a movie works. It's obscenely implausible, but it's so good. Same thing with Con Air, but they're great movies. It's you can't say that about these modern movies. It's they're distracting you with all this noise, this visual noise, and hope you don't notice that it doesn't work. I don't know, man. I haven't seen a movie in the theater. I don't even remember. Maybe Endgame. I saw Night of the Living. No, what's the zombie movie in the mall? But the original 70s version. I saw that at the Alamo Drafthouse. That was cool. That was fun, I already knew what I was getting myself into. Oh, no, that's right. I did see a few movies last year. I saw Bert Kreischer's movie. Oof. And I saw the Mario movie. Also bad. And that might be it. I really don't remember the last time I've been to the movies other than those awful movies. It's a one-and-done series, and I'm good with it. Yeah, look, like I said, the fact that it's its own thing, respect, much respect. I'm a little surprised they haven't ruined the John Hughes movies. Those are begging for a remake for modern audiences. Yeah. Isn't there that movie Y2K or something that came out, which is not a John Hughes movie, but it feels could fit into that sort of genre, teeny boppers around the turn of the millennium? I don't know. I barely pay attention to what comes out anymore. It's it's when The Acolyte's out and people are oh, it sucks. I'm yeah. Of course it sucks. Why wouldn't it suck? They've all sucked. Everything sucked since, 2016? When was it? 2014? Whenever The Force Awakens came out? They've sucked every single time. Rogue One, fine, acceptable. Apparently what's the other show? I can't remember. The one with the Hispanic kid, what the fuck is that called? Anyway, that one is supposed to be pretty decent. Mandalorian, acceptable at times. But by and large, it's been hot garbage. What? I heard Robert Meyer Burnett the other day. I was listening to some clip from Critical Drinker. And he's I went in there. He had expectations. He had hopes. I'm what? Why? What have you not been noticing? How did you not notice the pattern and collect enough data to conclude that most likely this will suck? Blows my mind, man. Blows my mind. But that's what it is. Dawn of the Dead. Thank you, Zax. That's it. That's it. What possessed you to see Bert's Tard Fest? Well, listen, I like Bert. I think Bert gets a lot of hate. I don't quite understand why it's so much hate. Maybe because he's really successful. But in my observation, I feel like he's done it pretty much on his own. I don't feel like he had Netflix specials, I guess. But, he was around for a long time. He's not a very successful comic. He did like Travel Channel shows and was just kind of like a guy. And then is very good at marketing himself, very good with social media, and became very successful. And I find him charming. I saw him live at what was the Moody Center, some big arena here in Austin. It wasn't brilliant. It was funny. It was entertaining. It wasn't like the funniest comic I've ever seen, but I did enjoy the show. And when I see him, I like him. I don't think he's genius. I don't think he's Shane Gillis. I don't think he's one of the funniest people alive, but I do think he's charming. I do think he's funny. And I really don't understand all the hate against Bert. Like, I don't get it. Like, you could say he's not funny. That's fine. Just don't watch it. Like, who gives a shit? I last time I was on the air, I talked about this, and it's just like, dude, don't watch him. You know how much fucking comedy there is right now? Who cares if you don't like Bert? Don't watch him. You don't have to. This isn't 10 years. This isn't 15 years ago when there's only like a few specials on Comedy Central, and there's only like 5 comics. Don't watch him. You don't like him? Fine. So I wanted to support, I thought it was an independently produced movie, outside the system, completely his own thing. Granted, he used the Hollywood system for distribution, but, it's his own movie. It sucked. It was really bad. It was really, really bad, which is a shame. That's too bad, because my ex-girlfriend at the time, she wanted to go, and because she liked Bert too. And so we went to go see it, and it was horrible. It was really, really bad. It was brutal. And it was long too, and it felt long, but I don't know. I don't hate the man at all. I like Bert. I really do. Bert made a fool of himself the other day. Oh my God. Oh, I thought you were talking about when he posted a crying photo of himself when dropping his daughter off at college. That was him making a fool of himself. Oof. Humiliating. So embarrassing. It's like the Kevin Smith cry photos. It's like, guys, we don't want to see you cry. Please do not post yourself crying. That's cringe, man. I guess I give him a pass because it's his daughter, but that's not. I don't need to see that from any man. Please do not. I don't want to see. The only crying I ever accept from a man is just, it's like the guy's like, oh, we lost a lot of good men that day. Like military vets just like reflecting on the battle. Other than that, I really don't want to see people cry on the internet at all. I don't want to see men cry. I really don't. I don't like it. Consume product and get excited for new product. Yeah, that's one of the best memes. And it's funny too, because those guys, RLM, they kind of like have gotten a little. They sort of don't take the big dunks on the big bad products. They kind of like. I don't normally like their takes on like the Acolyte and stuff like that. I feel like they're trying to not fall into the crowd of like trashing it really hard. They kind of want to just laugh at it or whatever. So I don't really watch those videos. I really like listening to Jay tell Mike about bad horror movies from the 80s. I love that. I'll watch that shit all day. I find that so entertaining. It's so much fun. It's jealousy? Yeah, I could see that. My friend Mike, he hates Bert. Does not enjoy him at all. I think he's great. To quote another comedian, Bert, I love your joke. Yeah. But he's still funny. Like, I don't know. I don't really watch Two Bears anymore, but I used to watch it like every week, and it's funny. He's just a funny guy. He's one of those guys, kind of like Trump. Like, he's funny in equal measure when he's trying to be and when he's just existing. And they're both just funny. He's just a funny person. I don't know. I like Bert. I have noticed he stopped the squeal laugh. Okay. All right. Oh, your girl wanted to go. Just say so, Matt. Listen, she did want to go, but I did like going. I wanted to go. I mean, I also wanted to see it. I was excited. I was happy for Bert. What do we talk about all the time on these streams? Independent, outside of the system, outside of the machine, right? Someone doing their own thing on their own way without the woke Hollywood agenda. But seriously, someone actually making something outside of the propaganda machine. And Bert did that. Of course I'm going to go support that. That's like my whole ethos. That's like my whole value system. Of course I would go watch that. It sucked, but you know. And by the way, Cotton, that is good vodka. I swear to God, man. I was at the Creek in the Cave the other day. Well, a month ago now, whatever. Fucking in the past few months. Who gives a shit? Stories matters. And I saw they had it there, right? Because it's a comedy club. And so I was like, all right, you know, I'll try it. Dude, it was good. I don't even like vodka. I swear to God, this was good vodka. And this is coming from a fucking bartender who knows what he's talking about, okay? Honestly, I swear to God, it is clean, very good tasting vodka. I would gladly buy it. I thought it was excellent, truly. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Bert simp. I really liked it. 100%. Truth. So I don't know. You know, whatever. Trash them all you want. Tiger Thig whiskey. I don't know. All this post hoc rationalizations, Matt. Listen to me, dildo. All right, buddy, it's good to see you, but I will not have you impugn my word as someone who's being disingenuous, because that's just not the case. That's just not the case. I think Bert is funny points to... Wait. Thinking Bert is funny points to crack, not vodka. Oh, I get it. Right. You have to be on crack to find Bert funny. I don't know. Look, I find him very hilarious. I'm going to Skankfest in a few weeks, and I hope Bert's there. And if Bert's there, I'll be like, you know what, Bert? Despite what everyone says about you, I think you're funny. I do. Papa Cotton, you going to Skankfest? I feel like that would be a scene you would go to. I am pumped up for that shit, though. Oh, my God. I'm going to do all the drugs and do all the drinking and black out all the times. No, I'm actually going to try to keep it together so that I remember it. That's too bad. I'll tell you guys all about it. Because I know you guys are big Skankfest fans. Okay. What do we got? Oh, okay. I got one for you. This is just a joke. It's just a little joke that I saw online that really made me laugh. I thought was super funny. This guy this is just an internet sketch. But I thought it was great. And you guys, in the vein of popular comedian people who are getting kind of raked right now, I think you guys will appreciate this one.
Oh, 100%. That would be the best. That would be the best army. Just 1,000 monkeys just ripping metal and just fucking boo. Oh yeah, and then you have monkeys just shooting machine guns and just throwing. Would they be able to shoot machine guns though? Just trying to think like if they would actually be able to do that. I just thought we were let's just move on. No, I'm just trying to. I don't know if that'd be possible. Yeah, I don't know. Just thought we were. I mean, it might be like they did it in Planet of the Apes, you know. Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I was thinking. Like they did it in Planet of the Apes. Like, yeah, that's a movie though. Talk about real life. Like, would they actually be able to do that? I didn't know we were taking it seriously all of a sudden. So. Oh, 100%.
Does that not just sum it up? I swear, I was like, that guy nailed it. That's so much of the show. Like, comics, like, delivering jokes, and then Joe just sort of, just dealing with it head on in a way. Like, the first time Chris Stefano was on there, I mean, I swear, Rogan missed, like, every other joke. It was just like, you're a comedian, right? Like, how do you not get that he's joking? He's kidding. He's messing around. He doesn't really care if guys think he's jacked. He's just saying that because it's a funny thing to say. And like that clip fucking summed it up perfectly. Yeah, would they though? Would apes be able to fire machine guns? Like just, and that way of him, that like kind of pensive Rogan face. I was like, wow, that guy nailed it. Always trying to give shine to independent creators, Dildo. You know, because that's what I think will stop the woke. It'll stop the woke falling in their tracks. I thought that was entertaining. I thought that was funny. Hey, Brady, what do we got here? This is good. This is pretty funny. Now, I know probably going to get raked for giving any kind of shine to Matt Walsh from Sentient Dildo, I imagine, as I know where he falls down on the political spectrum. I know you hate the right wing influencer types, understandably, but this is pretty funny. White fragility author Robin Diangelo gets tricked into paying reparations to Matt Walsh's producer in Am I Racist documentary. That's pretty funny. That's funny. Shit just won't be woke anymore. It'll just be, well, shit. Yeah, exactly. Cot, how much were Skankfest tickets? Quite a bit, my friend. I got the full weekend pass. I think it was something like $400 for the weekend. It's a lot. It's a lot. Plus, hotel, travel, all that stuff. But I don't care. I'm pumped. I'm going. Yeah, I know. This is great. This is so funny. So there is no clip, I guess, because this says exclusive. So I guess maybe someone got early access to Matt Walsh's Am I Racist documentary, which I think is going to be exclusively on Daily Wire Plus, which is just like, stop doing that, because then you're just preaching to the converted. But either way, he's got this documentary coming out called Am I Racist? I think like in the same vein as like the What's a Woman, where he's just kind of going right to the source of the propaganda machine. So there's no clip. I tried to find it. This is a clip from a different scene, but pretty hilarious. So white fragility author Robin Diangelo was hoodwinked into dipping into her own pocketbook to pay reparations to a black producer in podcaster Matt Walsh's upcoming documentary, Am I Racist? Actually, there's really no reason to read this whole article, because it's like, except for this quote, this has been a producer on the film. I thought it'd be a powerful opportunity to speak directly to a person of color and confront our racism and apologize for the white supremacist systems that oppress Ben, Walsh began. Matt Walsh summoned his black producer and paid him in cash reparations while trying to trick anti-racist icon Robin Diangelo into doing the same. Diangelo saying, following suit saying, on behalf of myself and my fellow white people, I apologize. It is not you, it's us. As long as I'm standing, I will do my best to challenge it. Walsh then announced that he'd pay Ben reparations if he'd accept it, promoting his producer to quip, I wouldn't turn it down. Walsh then handed Ben a few bills from his wallet. It doesn't make up for 400 years of repression, but it's all I have to give, Walsh said. Taking hold of the new cash, patting his wallet, Ben, fully in on the ruse, explained that he doesn't know if it's ever enough, but praised Walsh for putting in the work and acknowledging the small progress I think we made today. Diangelo looked introspective and bewildered as that unfolded. That was really weird, a perplexed and nearly speechless Diangelo gasped before formulating a response after Walsh asked, did you want to pay any? I think reparations is like a systemic dynamic and approach, she added. I think there may be some people who would be offended by that. Ben explained that he wouldn't turn down cash. A solemn-looking Walsh then stressed the need to allow ourselves to be uncomfortable when he underscored, this is something I can do right now, and asked, why wouldn't I do it? I can go get some cash for sure, she relented, after struggling to beat back Walsh and Ben's logic. I don't mind if that would be something that would be comfortable for you. After getting Ben's blessing, Diangelo then walked over to her pocketbook, took out roughly $30, and told him that's all the cash I have. That is awesome. Listen, sometimes Matt Walsh is an absolute L factory. And I see his takes, and I'm like, Jesus, shut up. You say some dumb shit, especially when he had all that goodwill from the What's a Woman documentary, which I thought was, I didn't see it. The clips I saw, great, brilliant, just trashing people, awesome. And now he's at it again with this. But this is great that he got her to meekly and just like total social pressure, just go into her bag and no, this is all the cash I have. I'm sorry, I'm not racist. That is phenomenal. Phenomenal journalism, if you ask me. The peak of journalism in this day and age. Yeah. Oh, not as funny as Angela Davis finding out she's a colonizer, but still. Is that woman who found out that her family owned slaves or something? Had 'em, as Shane likes to say. Yeah, I think I know that clip, which is pretty funny. She was just like, wait, but my whole identity is being against white people who own slaves. Yeah, pretty funny stuff. Pretty funny stuff. He is cringe and gay. I know. It's pretty weak. But, a win's a win. A win's a win. And I'm not going to take away a win from someone just because most times you're kind of like, oh, shut up. Shut up, you tool bag. But I'd say that's a win. That's a dub. I kind of want to see the documentary, but I don't want to have to go to Daily Wire Plus to see it. I just, not that I'm like anti them or anything. It's just like, ugh. Can't you just make it on demand somewhere? Can I just pay for just it? I don't want to, whatever. Not only owned slaves, her family came from the Mayflower. Wow, that's awesome. That is so great. It's also like, okay, who gives a shit about any of that? What matters is what you do today with the time that you are given. And I'm going to ask you with the time you're given to press like on this video and subscribe to this channel, to my Rumble channel, to the MFer Podcast channel. And I will reiterate how I opened this show. I apologize if you were here for both. But thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching the MFer Podcast. This show will be on this channel for the next 24 hours. Then it will be members only. After that, if you want to watch it, you go to the MFer Podcast YouTube channel or Rumble. Will be up forever. You can also go ahead and follow me wherever you get podcasts, on Spotify, all that type of stuff, iTunes, blah, blah, blah. And give your boy a follow on his social medias, on Instagram and X. And like I said, I pledge to make this a weekly show every Monday night, even though I know it's Sunday, every Monday night at 8 Central. The only reason I'm not doing it this Monday is because the Jets are on tomorrow, and I kind of want to watch them. I hope they don't embarrass themselves. But that's it. Moving forward, this will be a weekly show every 8 p.m. Central on Monday nights. So I hope that you guys will be there. Check my DMs. Okay, I will. I will check my DMs. Zach. Wait, is this something I should do now before I get off the air? Let me see. Okay, no, that is not relevant to right now. Yeah, but go ahead. Subscribe, press like, do all the good stuff. Help me, because I'm actually going to make this a real push for this show. Not just the occasional stream, not just like when I feel like it. Every Monday, 8 p.m. So do all that good stuff. I'd love it. And maybe I should pick a better. I always say this. I should get a better outro. I'm not just, you know what? I'm not just going to rely on Ruben. I'm just going to cold end it this week. Hopefully next week I'll have a new, cool, fun, hilarious outro. But today I don't. But guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. It's good to see you all. And I hope that you'll join me each and every week right here, 8 p.m. Central on Foulball Productions. All right. Y'all have a great night. Peace.